Calgary Midnapore.
Mr. Speaker, this government continues to add fuel to the inflationary fire, despite the finance minister's words that deficits must be reduced and that this is a line that cannot be crossed. Well, what happens? Inflation goes up, so interest rates goes up, so Canadians default on their mortgages and Canadians lose their homes. What's the solution? The solution is to stop the inflationary spending, stop the interest rates so that Canadians can have lower inflation rates and lower interest rates. Is the government ready to do this, Mr. Speaker?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, it's unfortunate that the Conservatives don't believe that we can fight inflation and fight climate change at the same time. Yet, emissions and inflation are both coming down in Canada. Canadians have created over 900,000 new jobs. We have the lowest deficit and the lowest debt to GDP ratio in the G7. And in addition, the IMF and the OECD now both project that Canada will have the strongest economy in 2023 and in 2024. This gives us the tools that we need to address affordability. And of course, we have a national housing strategy, which is the first time that the federal government has invested in housing in over 30 years.
Member for Calgary Midnapore.
Have the greatest level of household debt in Canada that we have ever had. And as well, the IMF states that out of the G7, it is Canadians who are most likely to default on their mortgages. Even the finance minister recognizes that Canadians are struggling. She said that Canadians are facing hardships as a result of high interest rates. So then why doesn't this government commit to eliminating inflationary deficits, eliminating inflationary spending, so that Canadians can have lower inflation and lower interest rates, Mr. Speaker?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Housing.
I'd like to thank my colleague for her question. As she knows, the National Housing Strategy is not just helping people to pay their rent. It's also to help them access the dream of owning a home. My colleagues on the other side voted against the budget, which had measures to help Canadians directly if they're struggling with mortgage payments under exceptional circumstances. I invite her to read that part of the budget and vote in favour.